This is Russ. Yeah, I'm heading out of Costco. Yeah, I had to get my slice of pizza. What time is it? 9:32 a.m. Yeah, early morning slice of pizza. You know, Costco opens up at 9 o'clock for executive members, of which I am one of, and then 10 o'clock for all general members. So current temperature right now is 78 degrees. I was out earlier this morning at about 76 degrees. It hasn't gone up that much since I went out. And yeah, I rode my bike already. Made a video, edited it. It is a tongue twister. Yeah. Finished the edit. How's that? And then jumped in the car and headed to Costco. So first thing I did when I got here, I went to the gas station to see if Tom was around. I had to give him his bell. Yeah, he wasn't there. However, I met his supervisor, gave it to her, and said, "Give this to Tom." I go, "Where's this guy? Is he on vacation?" No, apparently he was starting later in the day. He would have been there by the time I normally would have got there around 10 o'clock, but I've been coming early, so he's not been around. So your bell is with Eva, Tom, in case she forgets to give it to you. Anyway, as I was walking towards the food court, you have to pass, certain things, and I could see in the distance a big skeleton. Big skeleton. Yeah, looks like they already have Halloween stuff out already. Come on, it's only July. Why are they selling this big skeleton so early? I didn't walk over to it. I should have gone there and took a photo. Maybe next time. Yeah, there's a huge skeleton being sold there. Isn't that a little early? Well, I guess if you wait until that time period, then maybe you won't be able to sell out as many. But it sure seems early. It's just like when Thanksgiving comes around or Christmas comes around. Some of the stuff comes out really early. Have you guys noticed? I don't know if you have in your area, but back to school stuff is already out. It's only July. I remember they used to do back to school stuff in August. Everything gets pushed up. Yeah, even like this car. When I bought this car, this is a 2019 Hyundai Elantra. Yeah, I bought it in 2018. Well, actually, I leased it in 2018 because they had the next model year out already in 2018. And I'm not talking, late 2018. It was April of 2018. They had the 2019 models out. It just causes confusion. They do this, obviously, so that they can sell through the cars. Because let's say towards the end of 2019 or whatever, they can still sell the car. It would have a longer shelf life to sell it. Yeah, I should say this video I'm making is the 2027 version of Russ is Right and More from Russ. Get 2 years of shelf life on it. Maybe it doesn't work that way, huh? But it does apparently for other things. Yeah, why do they do that? Cause confusion in everybody. Yeah. So when I look at my car, here it is 2025, right? So you subtract off the 2019. This car is 6 years old. No, it isn't. It's older than that. It's older than that. It's actually 7 years old. Yeah, because I bought it. I leased it in 2018. So I did a 3-year lease on it, and then at the end of the lease period, I bought the car. It had very few miles on it because in 2019 we had the pandemic, and then I had my knee replaced, so I wasn't going a whole lot of places. I had very few miles on the car by the time I leased it. Currently, for a car that's technically 7 years old, I only have 34,100 miles on it. Looking at the odometer right now. 34,100 miles on a 7-year car. Well, if you think about it, I'm not going too many places. I used to take my cars and go to Wisconsin to go fishing. I haven't gone to Wisconsin fishing for that long, at least, yeah, since the pandemic and um, since the knee replacement. I haven't gone fishing in Wisconsin. Yeah, we kind of miss it. We do, but we're all getting older and we're kind of looking at the dollar amount and the distance of the drive to get there. Um, I mean, I'd like to do more salmon fishing out of Lake Michigan, and really, Wisconsin is where it's at. That's where we always caught our stuff. It was never in the Chicago area. I mean, people do catch it, but we've always had bad luck. But there's more in Wisconsin. I don't know how it's been lately. I haven't been keeping up with the fishing forums to find out how things are going. But things change, as time goes on. Things change. I was talking to Nate in at Costco. He's one of the guys that I talk to there, and he keeps telling me he wants to go fishing one day. I go, hey, we've been saying this for years. He's been saying it for years, and he hasn't done it. He just looks at my pictures, but he doesn't go. Diet Coke. And I think by the time you see this video, my Diet Coke versus Coke Zero video when it came out, Coke Zero just tastes weird to me. They say it's closer to the original Coke formula. No, it isn't. It's terrible. I don't know. It had a floral taste to it almost. It was awful. I couldn't. I took one sip of it and I had to dump it. I could not do it. I says, no, I can't drink this. This is awful. Not that I like Diet Coke that much either. I actually prefer Diet Pepsi. But yeah, no Coke Zero for me. Forget that. Somebody said that it's marketed towards men. Then why'd you make floral tasting? Okay, that might be sexist. Sorry. No, it tasted weird. I couldn't handle it. Not that this is that great either. I like the Diet Pepsi better. Yeah, it's a different taste overall. Anyway, what else do I have to tell you guys for today? So I was out riding earlier today, made a U-Free Stellar Falcon video. Yeah, I've been riding U-Free quite a bit lately, huh? Yeah, it's a nice, easy ride. The commuter style bikes are really easy to deal with. And I've been getting more commuter style bikes than big fat tire bikes lately, if you haven't noticed. So, yeah, I'm getting more used to it. I mean, really, if you think about it, before I started e-biking, I had a mountain bike. It was a Giant, made by a company called Giant, right? It's a Taiwanese company. And I guess Giant and Trek are probably among the biggest brands for non-e-bikes. I mean, they make e-bikes too. I don't know if Giant does, but I know Trek does. I think the Trek ones are mid-drive type bikes. They're expensive too. They're not cheap. When you look at those bikes, they're kind of more similar to our commuter style bikes in a sense, right? Even a mountain bike is more similar in the sense of the tire sizes and all that. So before that, I had 10-speed, what they call a 10-speed bike, which is basically a road bike. So interestingly, in our basement, we still have a couple bikes. Now, I donated my Giant mountain bike to a family in need from our church. They don't attend our church, but our church has certain charities that we do, and so they had one family that needed it for transportation to get to work. So I donated it because I said, well, Mrs. Wright actually told me, why don't you just donate your bike because you got all these other bikes. It's true. I knew I'd probably never ride it again, not after having e-bikes. And so we donated that, and then I donated one of my e-bikes too. It was a Velotric T1 that was having some issues. The fingerprint thing wouldn't work, so it couldn't recognize anybody. So you couldn't ride it as an e-bike, but it's such a lightweight bike that you could ride it as a regular bike. Yeah, it's almost like a road bike. So I donated that and told, and I didn't give them the charger. I just said, tell them they can ride this bike as a regular bike, even though it's an e-bike. It just doesn't work as an e-bike. it just wasn't functioning, so I donated that one. But in our basement, we still have 3 regular bikes. We have Mrs. Wright's Trek uh, mountain bike. It's kind of a hybrid, really, but still more of a mountain bike style. And then Mrs. Wright has her old Schwinn Varsity. Remember those things? Yeah, that's a road bike. Um, that's in the basement still. And then my sister-in-law has a Trek 600, I think, which is a hybrid bike. That's a nice bike, actually. It's a nice lightweight bike. They're all still functional, you know. So it's just kind of sitting in the basement there. Let me make this turn here. So we were looking at all this stuff, and I was like, yeah, why do we still have these bikes in the basement? Well, we'll probably keep the Schwinn Varsity just because it's an old bike and there's some history. You know, when people think of Schwinn, they think of the Varsity. The Varsity was, I think, their most basic 10-speed bike, what we used to call 10 speeds. Remember those bikes? Yeah, drop handlebars and everything. So she still has it. It's still down there. It still works. Yeah. I actually pumped up the tires because tires in general will lose air over time. And, you know, nobody has ridden these things in so long. All 3 were totally flat. So I says, okay, maybe I better pump this out. Let's see, pump it up. Let's see if these things are good. It's not good sitting on the tire, you know, the rims sitting on the tires like that with no air in the tire. I pumped them up. They were fine. Yeah. But I will say that the rubber on at least the Schwinn Varsity on those tires seem to be going. I wouldn't trust those tires. I would not trust it. The 2 Treks seem to be fine. Yeah, but the Varsity's really old. I mean, you're talking, when did that bike come out? Probably 1970s, maybe? The 60s? 70s? I don't know. I mean, by the time she got it, it would have probably been in the 70s. So they obviously had that model out for probably a while, but it was among the most popular. I remember always hoping that I'd get something like the Schwinn Varsity, but I never had a good bike back in the day. I had cheap bikes, had Huffy bikes, Huffy. Yeah, my very first bike was got from the Chicago police auction. Yeah, these are stolen bikes that nobody ever claimed after it got recovered. So the Chicago PD has to get rid of this stuff. If they don't, things would pile up. So they had Chicago police auctions. So we went there. My dad bought me this Huffy Huffy bike with the banana seats. Remember those things? I put a sissy bar on that thing too. You know what that is? The sissy bar in the back. Put a sissy bar on it, and my brother got a Schwinn. I don't know what he got. It was like a 3-speed road, 3-speed commuter style bike. Yeah, I think I mentioned before. Let's open up the windows a little bit. Yeah, some lady hit him as he was crossing the sidewalk, crossing the intersection at the crosswalk. Um, my sister was with him at the time. He's riding across, and then the lady's making a right turn. So here's what she probably did. She probably looked left, started the turn, and turned right into him and knocked him off the bike, bent the front fork and everything. She was so scared about it. My brother says, I'm fine, but his no, I don't even think it bent the front fork. I don't know. It damaged his bike. Yeah. Maybe it did bend the fork. I'm not sure. It wasn't rideable anymore. So the lady gave him her phone number, and then later, and she got my brother's phone number. He was probably at the time um, high school, maybe freshman in high school, maybe something like that. And My sister was with him riding her little bike. She's a lot younger than him. She would be about 7 years younger than my brother. My brother is 18 months older than me. But anyway, she called and talked to my dad. Says go to the Schwinn dealer and buy him another bike. And my dad says it's an old bike. We got it at the Chicago police auction. She goes, get him a new bike. I'm paying for it. So he picked out a yellow color bike that was identical to the one that he had, but brand new. He ended up with a brand new bike from that. The lady says, no, I'm paying for it. Says it was my fault. I'm just glad he's not hurt, but I'm going to pay for a new bike for him. That was nice of her. Some guys get all the luck. Yeah, you don't get hit by a car. But at least, he said that, it wasn't a fast impact. She just bumped into him because she really wasn't looking when she was turning right after she stopped at the stop sign. He's crossing now, right? So as he's crossing, she just runs right into him. So anyway, so that's his history of Schwinn. I don't know what happened to that bike. I never asked him. I should have asked him, whatever happened to your yellow bike? Maybe he still has it. Who knows? Anyway, that's about all I really have for you guys for today. I just keep the camera rolling and have someone to talk to. All right, if you like the video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Let me know what kind of bike you guys had when you guys started out. What was the first bikes you guys had? And then do you still have it, I should say? Do you still have that bike? Or what happened to your old bike? There you go. Talk to you guys next time.